Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, so today we will be discussing about one more SQL interview question, which is frequently asked. This is kind of simple. Fine, let's dive into the question. So it says that you are given a transactional table tracking gym membership. Let me make it a little bigger. All right, and okay, fine. Gym membership changes over the time, and we need to write a high performance query to find exactly what membership tier Sam, one of the users with the user ID 101, held on February 10th, 2026. Now, if you see the transactional table that we have, let me just run it once again for you. Okay, so you see here, fine. We do have different users and the subscription that they have taken and the date on which they have taken the subscription. Say, for example, we have Sam here. He has taken a tier 1 subscription, sorry, a free tier subscription on January 1st, and then a premier tier on 15th January, and then a VIP elite on March 1st. Now, so if you see for the others, the same thing goes for like Priya or Mike with different user IDs, and we have like, okay, and we have several examples wherein we don't have any change in membership. Mike, for example, he has a free tier since January 5th, and then Rahul, he has a VIP Elite starting from 15th March. Maybe that's the only record that we have of user ID 104 Rahul. Okay. Now, how do we find out? So, because February 10th is something that's in between the tiers or in between the dates in which the membership has been taken. So, we need to find out which tier Sam is for this particular date. Now, how do we do this? For this, we need to find the range between the tiers in which our date, the date of interest, falls in for that particular user. How do we do that? So for this, let me go ahead and explain you about the Windows function lead. So what does a lead function does? Lead function, so you see Windows functions work based on a specific window. Now in this case, I want to find out the next value for within that particular window. Let's say I'm interested in date and the window I'm considering is Sam. So for those of you who know how the window is, it's a partition. So we'll be partitioning on the user ID instead of username. So that will be, better. And on that window, we'll be tracking the dates. Not dates, basically, we're getting the next date. That's what lead function is all about. So for this, I have written one query. Okay, so let me reduce the size a little. And yes, if you see this, uh, it's a basic select. So all these things, so change date. So our first date would be the valid from date. And then you see, I have used a function called lead. So what am I doing? Lead off. So this piece, it says if you see the syntax, it clearly tells default value if null. So that is a date that is very far. So 9999 December 31st. That's the maximum date that we can have for the formats that we have so far. All right. So for the change date column, so that's what we are doing. And partition by user ID. So the window that we are considering is the user ID and order by change date. We are more concerned about the change date because everything is on the date. So that's the point of interest, and that we are mentioning it as valid too. So again, so if you want me to explain about this one, it says default value if null. So if it is a null, then we have to put this default value. Okay. Say for example, Mike, he has a free tier and he has taken the membership on 5th of January. And to this day, basically there is no other row for Mike. So to this day, he's still a free tier member. Now, in this scenario, basically, if I want to get a lead of this, it will be a null value because there is no record after, this 5th of January. Now, in this case, what I'm mentioning is simple. Instead of a null, use this value. That's what I'm doing. So I'm doing a lead on the change date. And if it is a null, just mention this value. Now let me just run this query and see. There it is. You see, for each of the users, we have the different ranges for different, tiers. Let's say, let me take an example of another user called Jessica, user ID 105. So if you see, she has a free tier from 10th of January to 15th of February, and again from 15th of February she is a premium tier member, and from there till 1st of May she's a premium tier member, and again she switched back to the free tier on 1st of May. And after that, since we don't have a record for Jessica, I'm mentioning okay, it's valid till 9999 hyphen 12 hyphen 31, that is December 31st, the maximum date possible. So this is the ranges for each of the members and their respective membership. So the range says okay, from this time to this time this particular membership is valid. Now to go to the main question. So it says that on February 10th, 2026, what is the membership tier user ID 101 or Sam basically is holding? For that, I have written another query using the same thing. So if you see here, all right, if you see here, I have mentioned, I have used the same query that we have to, figure out the lead. So this is, but particularly, specifically, this is the table from gymlog. All right, so this is the table that we'll be extracting. So this would be our subquery, and gym timeline is an alias that I've given to the subquery, from which I'm fetching the user ID, the username, and the membership tier. This is what we are interested in more. All right. Now, when it comes to the condition that I'm giving, user ID 101, Sam, yes. And if you see these conditions, it says 10th February 2026 is greater than or equal to valid from. So anything after the valid from and anything before the valid to should be 10th February 2026. To put it simply, we are actually finding the range, which particular range on Sam's window in which, what is the range in which our date of interest falls, that is 10th February. Now, if I run this query, all right, let me hit that. You see, premium tier. So this is how we do it when it comes to, we need to figure out a particular date in between ranges when the range is not given. This actually can be, this actually works when it comes to a different situations like logging time. There might be questions saying that, okay, there is a table which actually logs the information, but then it does not say at that particular time. It just logs the time in which the log has been made. Okay, so there are like multiple questions on top of this. Is just one simple example. All right. But again, in this case, I've chosen a very, very simple table with very, very less records so that I can explain the concept much clearer. If you have any questions or if you have any feedback on this one, please leave a comment and please do subscribe and like to my channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.